Three, two, one. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 132 of the KBMOD podcast. It is March 16th, 2014, a Sunday, obviously. I did get a comment, I think it was via Twitter, that someone told me, they said, fuck you. They're like, I listen to the cast recorded, and I don't listen to it live, so I appreciate it when you say the date. So you know what? I'm good with saying
that one guy.
That one guy, you know what? Whoever you are, I didn't even look at your name. Sorry, but
one guy speaking out for the thousands who have no voice.
Exactly. And you know what?
That's a little optimistic.
Made me realize it's important. So I don't have any problem stating the date.
Voice for the voiceless. Dude who tweets "fuck you" and Scott.
God damn it. We have a smaller cast today. Nick Fenton's sick. I'm not sure where John is, but we should be fine. We haven't had a small cast in a while, at least since I've been here. Usually I'm probably the cause of the small cast. But we've got BLA, we've got Brandon, we've got Dan. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Better.
I just want to put. I don't know what it is. I managed to be here about every week.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know, man. I don't know why life is so hard.
It's not like you've got much going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, man, I cut my stream short to be here today.
To be
Wow.
fair, Scott watched the Oscars instead of this podcast. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
listen. I don't.
That's
need
not really
dirt
something
like that,
going
Harry.
on. That's the fucking
Okay.
Oscars.
Listen, the Oscars this year also too was just fucking so bad. It really was not a good choice.
I
Well,
feel like-
then
I
I'm
feel
glad
like
you missed the podcast for a bad.
I feel like the
Oscars.
way you say that is like the Oscars are ever good, and this year it was a surprise to you.
I don't know. You gotta understand, in Los Angeles, it's a way of life. You watch the Oscars. We're right next to it. We're fucking in it. You know.
Fucking
Yeah, how long have you been there?
go
2 months.
You know.
So you're a denizen of LA now. You're wrist deep in
Scott's
that culture.
totally LA.
I
Yeah.
basically am the Oscars, which is why I wasn't able to be here.
Oh god.
I've and yeah, I don't know what I'm saying, but yes, I did skip
go to the
for
red
the
carpet, grab
Oscars.
some good
It's not
pictures.
my proudest moment, but you know what? I feel like this is my penance. Okay, here you go. I'm pretty sure Dan said that I was skipping for that anyway.
I did. It's on the cast.
Okay, so we're fine. So there's been no secrets
I don't
here.
remember sanctifying that.
All that to say, I
So
agree
it's
with
so it's fine if you miss as long as there's a documented reason.
True. Right. Exactly.
Sort of like
what you're
elementary
saying
school.
is Blacklight would never have any reason, a documented reason.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get an adult circumcision. So see you guys. Boom.
Don't you need to make an appointment for that?
Time out. You can't just get one. Does he
It's
have
a
like
Sunday
one of those
evening.
coupons?
If he comes back here with bloody garden shears, I'm gonna be fucking upset.
It's a Sunday evening. That's not an emergency procedure.
Well, it's been good knowing him. Well, let's talk about what we've been playing this week. God damn it.
Oh.
See, this is why you should watch live, because you could have seen Blacklight get up and literally leave.
It's actually a good time for him to leave, especially if I go first. So,
Okay, well, good.
All right,
Well,
yeah,
how about
you go first and fit in all your spoilers, or
So
don't.
I recently found out though that my wife watches this podcast live,
Really?
and now my life is in shambles.
Yeah.
So, it turns out my
Now-
rabbi isn't available at 10:34 p.m. on a Sunday.
Wow.
So,
I said if he
Welcome
comes
back.
back here with a pair of bloody garden shears, I'm gonna be really upset, or I'm gonna be impressed. One of the two. I don't know which it's gonna be. But yeah,
like, if I had come back with a bloody cock,
yeah. So
that's
then we would have
dedication.
been off the air.
I'm already circumcised, so I don't know. I don't know what I was really planning to do.
Just
In
getting
case
the
anybody
second
wanted to
one.
know what state my penis is in. Foreskin off.
But as I was saying, yeah, I found out my wife watches this podcast, so
Yeah.
now my
Hi,
life is in
hi,
shambles.
Mrs. Dan.
Yeah.
So now
Mrs.
what?
Dan.
Now you're editing yourself, or what?
No, I don't. My whole world is different now. I don't know what to
And
do.
now your wife knows whether or not I'm circumcised, which is
There
again,
it is.
Again, yes. In case anybody missed that.
You are circumcised.
confirmed.
Yes.
Is everyone here
Confirmed
circumcised?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to assume.
Brandon's not going to answer that. Are you kidding
Act
me?
like you don't know, Scott.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. I know.
So I'm going first, I guess.
How did that come up though? That you found out she watches live?
Yeah, and she came down here right as we were starting. She was like, "Make sure you turn your lights on. Sit up straight."
Oh my god! Oh, damn! Wow,
It was good.
Well, there you go.
Yep. So
Solid tweet I just got, by the way, that just says the Oscars kill yourself in all caps. So really appreciate this community. Thank you. God damn it.
Great group we
Actually,
have.
I just like anytime you have podcast feedback, just tweet it directly at Scott.
Yeah. I'll get it fixed for you. Don't worry.
Secretary of feedback.
now everyone in chat is airing their dirty penis laundry.
Yeah.
Circumcision.
Wow.
Now wait, is the laundry dirty or?
I don't know. I don't.
There's a couple
I
of
don't
ways
wanna
I can interpret
speculate.
that.
I don't
I
want
had
to
a botched
speculate.
circumcision, but that's a whole nother story. I don't want to get into it.
Well, that's what happens when you try to do it yourself.
True. With toenail clippers. God.
Oh,
Is
God.
anybody else thinking of that drill tweet where he is like, "Dick looks like an ear from a botched circumcision check. Dr. Pepper cravings due to being mentally empreg check." Like, it's just like a list of the
That dude
weirdest
is so
shit you could
weird.
possibly. That guy is incredible.
I love that Twitter account though.
There's random and then there's that shit. It's like absurd. I honestly can't. In no words.
Tino's, it's good to know that your penis laundry is clean. Thank you. But I have mainly been playing Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah, it's a mistake.
Yeah.
Those
I did see
graphics.
I did see a little bit, and my God, those textures. God
Those
bless you.
textures. Oh my
Bless you.
God.
So washed out.
They neutered everything graphically, you can tell, just to get that game to go. Because it's a brand new engine. So there's a lot better lighting and stuff in it, but not on the PS3. I'll tell you that right now. The game is fantastic. It's fantastic. I'm trying to do this without saying too much, because I know Blah's going to play it for sure on PC,
probably a lot
and
of
most
people.
of our audience is probably going to play it on PC instead.
Yeah.
I'm about 18 hours in. I've killed 7 or 8 bosses, but it is much harder than Dark Souls.
Oh, good.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any harder. Yeah, it's a lot harder than Dark Souls. It's more of a combination of Demon's Souls and Dark Souls. Demon's Souls was the first game in the series. And it is a combination of those two games. I don't want to get too spoilery. Those of you who waited for PC, you're doing the right thing. It will look a lot better on the PC. It seriously looks like garbage. It seriously looks terrible. Like, I have not played a console game this much in a very, very long time. And I had forgotten how good like Dark Souls Prepare to Die with DS Fix on looks way, way better than Dark Souls 2, which is on a newer, more advanced engine. So
Yeah, but
Do
it's
you
on
play with a
console.
controller for Dark Souls on PC or no?
yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, you pretty much have to. The keyboard and mouse controls are garbage, even with DS Fix.
Yeah. There's,
They're supposed to be improved for DS2, but
yeah,
DS2 is
Dark
not
Souls
yet.
2 is supposed to, along with better textures, better frame rate, is supposed to have better keyboard support if you choose to use that.
Yeah, that was really bad. My favorite part was not being able to back out of menus with the escape key or anything that made sense. You had to hit right mouse button.
Yeah, it made no sense. But it is an amazing game. Just flat out, they've hit it out of the park again.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I mean,
That is a spoiler,
that's
but
it's a great game. I don't know if that's a spoiler really, but it's a great game.
It's a spoiler. You're gonna have to leave the cast. I'll see you later.
I think it's actually even more open than Dark Souls is, as far as like just being able to go places. Like I said, I can't get too into it without being spoilery. There's a nice hub town in this one, which is good though, where you kind of go to do stuff and then you leave from there. But other than that, it's a Souls game. I mean, they didn't stray from the formula too much, which why would they? It works
Yeah.
extremely well. Dying is much more penalized now. You go down to a minimum of 50% health, but you lose a little health, total health, each time you die, which was the case in Demon Souls as well. Also, there's a death meter that you can go. It's a monument in the hub town, but you can go up to it and check the amount of deaths on your platform total. Not your death, like everyone playing on PlayStation 3 in my case.
Oh yeah, saw that.
It's at like 40 million or something insane.
Jesus.
Like already.
Jeez.
Someone in my stream was like, I have it on Xbox, and there's only about 10 million. That was yesterday, so that tells you where people bought the game on.
It kind of makes sense. They had an established fan base on PlayStation. They, Demon Souls was a PlayStation exclusive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was actually the game. It was kind of weird. Still remember when Demon Souls was out. I had a friend trying to get me to play it and everything, and I remember I was working at GameStop when it came out. Still, it was a long time ago, but that was like one of the games that PlayStation fanboys touted, because that was still when people actually gave a shit about which console they owned.
Yeah.
And they would always tout, oh my god, you guys don't have Demon Souls, and this game is amazing. And everybody would be like, all right, explain it to me. And then it sounded like shit when they explained it. It's like one of those games you have to play.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think it's just really an established PlayStation thing.
I think, well, what you just said is the key to the Souls games for like Scott and Brandon, is really like, it's hard to explain why they're so good.
It really is.
Just have to do it.
You have to play it yourself.
Because on the servers, it just sounds like a punishing, horrible experience. But it really isn't.
What it ends up being, what you miss is how goddamn rewarding it is when you make any sort of progress in that game. And the fact that it's totally doable. It's not impossible.
Yeah,
it's just
you
really
never
hard.
feel like it's impossible. You just feel like this is really hard, and eventually the game will teach me how to do this, like with trial and error. Like I said, it's way harder, though. Dark Souls 2 is way harder than Dark Souls 1.
Is it a longer game, or I guess it depends on
I would assume it's a longer game at this point, but
I've been told it is.
I am completely blind. It's more bosses. Yeah. There's around 30 bosses as opposed to 26 from Dark Souls. Of course, some are optional, all that kind of stuff. But you don't know. You won't know going into it. I don't know which ones are optional, so I've just been going through. I am completely blind on this playthrough, and it's been awesome. Because, like, every moment is like, oh my god, this does this, or whatever it'll be. Oh my god, we killed this boss. I still don't know what's happening.
Splinter is claiming that it is a punishing, horrible experience. It cost him 2 marriages. So, my god. That's the kind of stuff. He's talking about Demon Souls, I guess.
Demon Souls might cause you. I watched, I don't know if people know who Ezekiel is. He's like Man vs. Games friend, Zeke. He also is a streamer. He broke a controller live.
With a hammer.
He was
he actually broke it before he smashed it with a hammer.
He's like, well, I think it's time for us to take a little break from this. After this, like, he was like pretty pissed. But yeah, it's awesome. That's been the majority of what I've been playing. I've still been grinding out D3. I now have 3 classes at 60. Got my monk to 60 today. I went into a game on Torment 1 with this level 55 monk. Horrible gear. I could not even believe how bad the character was. What the fuck was I doing? It was like, what? And I went into a game and got to 60 and upgraded every single piece of gear in about 30 minutes. So, there you go. Brandon, you're muted. You're muted, mate.
Oh, I was just gonna say all that's gonna be useless in like 9 days.
Yeah, I know, but at least I'll have something compared to what I did have.
Yeah,
I was at 2,000 DPS. It's so fucking bad. And by the end of the run, I had like 28,000. It was awesome.
They have DPS meters in D3?
No, you just on your character.
Just
you
your
can
character
see.
sheet.
Oh,
It's
a stat for it. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Oh my god, they just, breaking news, I guess. They just revealed the 5th character for Ultra Street Fighter 4. And I can't tell who it is. I don't know who this character is.
Link?
I'm not sure. Is this a brand new character? Dalesy, where are you? You're my connection here. I'm watching the stream, but I missed it. Come on.
What did Delzy
It
tweet
looks
something?
like Evil Cammy or something. or like female bison. It's very odd. I'm not sure what it is.
Cammy had like a partner or something that was corrupted by Bison. I don't know.
Yeah, she's like a robot Cammy, basically.
Yeah,
but
the
anyway, there you go.
story of Street Fighter is retarded.
It's not the Great American Challenge. That would have been awesome though. A giant playable dildo in Street Fighter would have been
Holy
probably
shit,
the
that
greatest.
would be
Probably
incredible.
OP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dalesy said it's a worthless canon character issue from the Street Fighter Alpha storyline. So there you go. Never been
really
in a
wanna see
game
what
though,
this is.
actually. So there you go. New Street Fighter 4 character revealed just now. But last thing I did on my stream last night when I was quite out of it was head over to the Just Cause 2 construction sandbox server.
Mm.
It is fucking crazy. It is also the most populated one on there. This was at like 3:30 in the morning, and it still had like near 100 people on it.
I feel like that's how many you need for a Just Cause 2 server. You need at least 100.
Or you just need like a group of people, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can just be like, hey, you know, KBMOD people, I'm hopping on Mumble. Let's get on Just Cause 2, and you get like 10 people. That's good if you're all in a group. But basically, it is one of the most crazy things I've ever seen. There's tons and tons of new areas. There's about 40 travel points as opposed to the normal 15 or so on it. And you basically can go into a menu that's like a Minecraft type menu. If you've ever played Minecraft in creative mode, you can pull up like a menu. It's got like every block, everything in the game possible. That is this. Every single model, like everything is selectable. At one point, there was a PC Gamer article on it. They had built a ramp stadium on top of the Mile High Club on this server. And it just moved around with the Mile High Club because it has no like carrying capacity. It's just a model that floats in the air. So like you can build anything you want on top of it, and it just moves around the map.
Good lord.
There's a port. You can port yourself to the atmosphere and start building at the very top of the map. If you want, like, it's completely crazy. Of course, all you guys need to check it out is Just Cause 2, and then just get the mod off Steamworks, because that's where it is now. But the sandbox server has, it has the factions, it has the teleporting to other players, it has all that stuff in it. It seems like they've really standardized a lot of the good features across most of the servers. So fast traveling is really easy. You just hold down G and then go around the wheel and select your place. You can join factions really easily, all that stuff. So it looks pretty cool. I want to hop on it and actually build something next time. But basically you just use placement and you can adjust the angles. So that is about all I played. I mean, Diablo 3, if it isn't Dark Souls 2, the problem with playing Dark Souls 2 a lot is I only play it on stream, and it's on my PlayStation, so like I don't really want to play it if I'm not streaming it at this point, because the playthrough already started. So Diablo 3 is the majority of my game time overall, because I just play that all the time off stream. So that's
Cool.
about it for me.
Ready?
Well, should we talk Titanfall now? Does no one else play
we can.
Titanfall, probably?
We can talk it.
As
I think
Blacklight
I'm the
doesn't
only
have
one.
it. You have it?
No, I said I'm
ha-
the only one who has not played it.
Oh.
I think.
I
played
played
the
it on.
beta.
I haven't played it on
Haven't
PC, but I played on Xbox One. So anyway,
Oh, tell me more.
Well,
I
I'll
will.
talk about Titanfall, I guess. I mean, I played Titanfall this week. Titanfall's good. I mean, it's basically the beta. Like, the game is not really any different than the beta. So if you were sitting out there like, should I get it because there's new maps and stuff? I mean, it's the same game with different maps. There's a couple really, really bad maps. It's pretty good. Like, it's not a bad game. I just don't know if I ever want to play it without it. When you come up against a party in that game, it is the worst if you are playing solo. You will not win. You will not win. You cannot carry a team to victory in Titanfall against a party. Like in Call of Duty, I could do that, but not in Titanfall. There's just too much shit that can happen, especially with Titans. Like a lot of people have said, I would kill for a no Titans mode in that game. Because everything else about it, like the time they spent on movement, the time they spent on shooting in that game, is so good. Like, everything about it is so crisp and so nice.
I think that would be more appealing to me.
But it's a good game. It's fun. I played with a party during stream. We went like 14-1 or something. Destroyed. There are a couple really bad maps. Also, capture the flag in that game is one of the worst things ever. Don't ever play it. Domination and attrition, I guess, is what they call deathmatch. But I mean, it's not a bad game by any means, like I'm saying. But
have we had a good CTF game since Quake and Tribes? I can't think of one.
Really, I mean, I never played that mode in Call of Duty really, because I just not a fan of it.
There was CTF in Call of Duty?
Yeah.
I guess no one ever played it.
No one ever
so
played
I guess
it.
I just don't even
It was
recognize
terrible. It was wow, really bad.
Yeah.
Because I actually love CTF in Quake, and I mean obviously in Tribes. Like I love CTF as a game mode for a game to be built around.
I didn't see if there was a what's the mode in Call of Duty? Not headquarters, or maybe I'm thinking of headquarters. I think maybe not. Demolition or whatever. It's like search and destroy, except you have infinite respawns.
Yeah.
I think that is demolition in Call of Duty.
Yeah,
A
demolition.
mode like
Yeah,
that would be
demolition.
pretty
That was a
sweet,
pretty
where
good
you have to set like a bomb somewhere, but I don't think they have any bomb modes, which would be weird with Titans, I guess, if you were designing it. But I think it would have been cool to fight over a point. I love hardpoint though in that game. The domination mode is really, really good, and most of the maps are good. A couple of them are the worst ever because they just cater to Titans. A couple of the maps. So, and
I'm
I
going
hate
back
playing
and forth.
Titan.
Trying to decide if I wanna get it. I probably will. I mean, I've watched a lot of people streaming it. Like I said, I played it on the one. It was fun. One thing that was really cool. Someone put up recently. Obviously, I like all the parkour elements, and someone from MLG, I think Strong Side, former like Halo 3 pro, put up like his favorite for all the different maps, like jump spots, and my God, I was watching someone that's really put a lot of time into the movement and stuff like that. It's so fucking badass.
Yeah, like
So I don't know.
that's one.
I
I mean,
probably
I've
will
never. I don't know if I've ever played a shooter since the real Quake Engine game days, like
Yeah.
Enemy Territory. Not even COD 4. Like that has had movement as good as this game does. Like
Yeah.
it is really that good. But I just feel like I don't know how. I don't know how they're gonna sustain this game. I feel like this game is probably a launching pad to making Titanfall 2. Like this is like here's our new thing. Like we'll get it better next time. Like it's pretty good now, but it needs to mature, I guess is what I'm saying. It's fun. Like I don't want to play without other people ever. Like I'll only play it on stream probably or in a full party. But it's like I said, it's fun. It's just not. It's not blowing my mind at all, like in any way. If you like really crisp, good shooters, you may want to check it out. And Shrimp to mention, that's an excellent point. Playing as just a dude is a million times more fun than playing as a Titan. I think that's the biggest problem right now, is that playing as the Titan is kind of just like auxiliary. I always just put my Titan on follow and go take points. That's what I did in beta, and that's what I still do, and it works fine. Game doesn't suck, though. I wouldn't say that at all. So
That's what I got from the beta, is that it would be way better without the Titans. I like playing as dude. I don't like fighting Titans. I don't like being in a Titan. So I would be happier if there were no Titans.
And this has been a debate that's raging. Arxed brought it up, and I mean, maybe you guys can give your take on it as well, even if you haven't played the game, just how you feel about this. $60 for a multiplayer game, and I usually say that I don't care if a campaign exists because I don't play the campaigns. Like Battlefield 4, Call of Duty. I never play the campaigns. But I feel like if you just market it as multiplayer only, I don't know. I feel like it should have been a $30 or $40 title.
Or
Instead.
should it have been free to play?
No.
No, I'm kidding.
No.
I know they would never do that after all that development time. I'm kidding, but anyway. Yeah, no, I'm definitely. I'm probably. I'm gonna get it. I will eventually, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little hipster. I was a little. I mean, I played it here and there at shows and stuff like that, and I thought it was cool, but I wasn't married to the hype like a lot of people were. And I guess depending on what you were expecting, like you were saying, if people played the beta and then go into it and are like expecting it to be hugely different. I mean, it's like you said, it's pretty much the same game, more maps and stuff like that. But I don't know. The more when I have played it, I had a lot of fun. So, like you said, we probably have to give it time to like let it breathe though, some too, and see what they do with it and see what kind of long legs it has. Because also too, we've said this before, but like stuff is how long you're the hot shit gets shorter and shorter and shorter every year. So like, you know, whatever, like even with GTA, which was a great game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
People are still playing it, but it's like it had its, you know, 2 months of super hype, and then it was like, all right, what's next? And that game was fucking worked on, you know, and fabled for years. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we all just, I don't think anything can live up to the hype that people put behind it. And I don't know if that's not the game's fault. That's just more of our own expectations, I think. And maybe they will. I mean, they could patch in game modes, obviously, and all that kind of stuff, right? So maybe they will do like a Titan free mode or something sometime. I don't know. I guess that is the namesake of the game, so that might be
it is. So I
hard
doubt
to be like, yeah, there'll be no Titan.
But I just feel like, again, for anyone saying, "Oh man, fucking hates the," I don't hate the game whatsoever. I think it's fun. I think it's fun with friends. Whereas, like, for instance, Call of Duty Ghosts is just shit all the time. It's just fucking garbage in every way. This is the perfect time for them to put this out because Ghosts really faltered. It's awful. They are the former devs of that game, making this game. The people who are crying are the same people who published this game, though. EA and DICE, if they had gotten BF4 right from day one without tech issues, this could have been the year that Call of Duty just really fell behind. And it would have been so nice. In a lot of ways, it would have really forced their hand, I think, on whatever the next iteration of that would have been. Maybe not actually the one in 2014, but the one in 2015. 2014's Call of Duty, obviously, already in development. But it's it's just like Titanfall. EA could have had Titanfall, and they could have had a working, well-done BF4 from day one. This would have been the year for EA, like to really grab hold of that. And they fucked up. They fucked up with
now
one
you fucked
game.
up.
With one game, they fucked up. I mean, according to some things I've heard too, like this isn't really selling Xbox Ones like they had planned.
Like they wanted it to. Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. I just feel that, again, like me and you both said, Titanfall 2, that I have high expectations for. This game, I didn't know what to think at all of Titanfall coming in. Because on paper, it sounded like such a weird concept. It does work. Like, the game works perfectly fine. But it's just that I think once they mature this formula and get to Titanfall 2, that's when we'll really see what this game's about. So, I'll play it. I'll put some hours into it, but it's not blowing my socks off by any means.
I'd still like to see more than 6v6.
I would love to see a ground war type 9v9 lobby.
And even if you did that, people are saying like, "What's too crazy with all the Titans?"
I disagree. There's a
limit
few
the amount of
maps, Scott. There's a few maps, Scott, where 9v9 would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
There's some huge maps on that game. In fact, they're so huge that I don't even like playing them because it's just like you're so far away from everything. But yeah. So what? All right, I need to address this in chat. I'm sorry. I've been talking forever, but I got to address this. Technical shizzle. I don't understand why everyone hates BF4 because it was broken on launch, but Diablo 3, a game that was awful when it came out and gets a huge patch, everyone loves it. Everyone loves Diablo 3 right now because they made that game everything it should have been. The launch sucked, and it was 2 years ago, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
And the game wasn't very good, and I was very disappointed. It was my disappointment of the year.
Yeah, Diablo. We shit on Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got just go back and listen to some of those old casts. Diablo 3 did not get a pass by any means.
Did it win
Yeah.
biggest disappointment that year?
It tied. Yeah.
So we.
The thing is that BF4 will never have that chance at redemption that Diablo 3 has,
true.
because BF4 there
Yeah.
will be BF5 or whatever in 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is why we keep talking about it, because there's a limited life cycle for games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, because you're buying it and you know there's going to be another one in a year or two. Whereas Diablo 3, there's not going to be a Diablo 4 for a decade.
Yeah.
So Diablo 3 is like, there's a lifespan to that game
And-
where like getting a second lease on life is actually really awesome.
Yeah. Also, with BF4, I'm shitting on the technical issues that happened. The game itself is very good. I would not have put 140 hours in the game if it was a horrible like
And
experience.
to
all the
Blizzard's
time.
credit, that was actually fixed pretty quickly. These Battlefield issues, how long has the game been out now? Like since October? November?
Yeah.
The fact
yeah.
that
that's the problem.
The fact that there are
Yeah.
still news articles about things that are broken in BF4 is inexcusable by anyone's definition.
Like, I didn't mean to single it out technical, but like I had to address that, dude. Like, that's because they are totally different situations. And the Diablo 3 team, it took them 2 years to make the game play the way it should have played. But the technical issues with Diablo 3 were done within, I think, like a month. Like there
Well,
was
they were
no
server
more.
issues. It wasn't like
Yeah.
people's games were crashing and like all sorts of client side stuff.
Yeah, and like I mean, there's still bad netcode issues. There's one-shot kill glitch still, even though they said they fixed it like 4 or 5 times. There's all kinds of shit wrong with Battlefield. But they had a responsibility with D3, as you said, Brandon. This game's not going to, go away. The Diablo 4 is not happening for a long while. So.
All right.
But
I'm sure,
yeah,
I forget where we were. Where were we at? Were you? Who was saying what they were doing?
it was me. And then I decided we should
talked about
address Titanfall.
So now,
Let me go get water while you go to someone else.
This is the St. Nippies Day cast, so
Well, we wanted to talk about Titanfall. It was launch
yeah,
week.
no, we did.
So
Yeah, we did it.
someone else.
I will get into it eventually.
Someone
I
go.
just need to not when I'm doing my stream challenge, because that would suck.
I
So-
thought you meant you were going to get into what you've been playing this week, but fair enough.
I can go.
How about you do it.
Yeah, go ahead. I gotta get water.
Yeah, go for it. You've been talking. Take five, Dan. I've been still hitting that Risk of Rain really hard. That's like sort of my go-to stream game. I think I'm still the only person on the cast that plays that. But it is really, really good. It feels so good to make progression on that game. You kind of have to keep trying in order to make any sort of progression in that game. But when you do make progression, it feels tasty. It's really, really nice. I highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for a game that's actually challenging, and has a ton of replay value. It's kind of, I don't know. I guess it's not for everybody, but I still recommend it quite a bit. I've also been getting a little bit harder into WoW, which I don't know, kind of wish I wasn't. I was kind of enjoying finally not wanting to play WoW as much anymore.
God, your love-hate relationship with WoW is like
I
every
know,
week. You're
and then
like,
I just
I'm
redoubled
so
on
over
it.
WoW, and then you're
I
like, I'm
know.
playing WoW again.
It was seriously like I started playing it. I was like, this is not nearly as good as it used to be. And then I got really into it. And then some shit went over. I started playing other games. And it just got kind of boring. And I was like, I'm not really feeling it anymore. And now I'm back into it again. I don't know. I guess it's just I'm leveling an alt or something. That's probably why. But it's so back and forth, which is funny because it used to not be back and forth at all. It used to just be the game I played for like 4 years. So I think that still speaks a lot to World of Warcraft's appeal and how far it's fallen. But it's still pretty good. It's just not
Says
the
the
game it
guy
used
with
to
like
be.
6 level 90s.
I have one. I'm sorry, two because I pre-ordered Warlords of Draenor. I
Yeah,
have
you get
one
that
level
free now,
90
right? With
aside from the free one.
pre-order, you get a free 90.
You get a free 90 if you pre-order the game. Yeah,
Fucking,
Oh, so what you're saying is you're WoW
fucking
casual.
zany.
I am a casual. Which is fine. I'm fine being a casual. Um, it's I don't know. It's just not the game it used to be. I wish it was. And I like here's my thing. WoW I think is a bad streaming game. I end up streaming it a lot because when I don't feel like paying attention because it's like really easy. It's way easier than it used to be, but it's not a good stream game. And I'm doing the whole stream challenge. It just doesn't work all that well because I think it's really boring to watch. Like people can tell me if they disagree, but I think it's probably really boring. It's I don't even know what my opinion on World of Warcraft is anymore. It's kind of back and forth these days, if you can't tell.
Just gotta stay on that drip.
Now,
Yeah.
I have heard from people who run like LFR and shit that these free 90s have been a real problem. Because people are popping into these raids with no fucking idea how to play.
No experience.
Oh
It's
yeah,
fresh
absolutely.
90.
It is horrible. It's really bad how little anybody knows how to play. It's actually fucking incredible how few people know how to raid, how few people raided back in the day, kind of thing. Because if you raided back in the day and you had no idea what you were doing, you would get yelled at, you would get kicked, you would not make any friends that way, right? Like you would never even be invited if you didn't know what you were doing, and being not knowing what you were doing had consequences. Nowadays, people legitimately wipe groups on purpose and then leave and then wait half an hour and then queue back up and go right at it again. There's no ramifications for playing poorly or even straight up griefing your group. And apparently, I've been told by many people that reporting people for griefing your group, like pulling intentionally and wiping before you even have any tanks in your group, you're waiting for the queue to pop, is not punishable by anything. There's no ramifications for that. You just get away with it. You just do that shit and then you go and do it again. That's literally
presumably they would end up getting matched with other griefers, right?
No, not at all. There's no ramifications at all. You can grief everyone as much as you'd like with no penalties. It's incredibly fucked up.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess Blizzard has neither confirmed nor denied that that's the case.
Probably. I haven't looked into any blue posts or anything. They really need to do something about it though, because I was raiding yesterday. I'm trying to complete my legendary cloak line, which I think what really pulled me back in the game is I want this fucking orange cloak before the expansion. But I did every single raid that was available to me. Raids are separated into about 4 wings, depending on which raid you're doing each. So it was 8 total LFRs over the week. Twice yesterday, I had 2 separate people pull and leave the group. Both on the same boss. It's always on Garrosh Hellscream, who's the final boss in the game right now, because every group wipes on him because you need to do... There's like a couple different things that the DPS needs to actually take care of for once, and the DPS is used to just face rolling and never paying attention. There's like... They have to interrupt heals. They have to interrupt mind controls before your entire party gets mind controlled because it like chain casts. You have to kill a siege crafter so that your raid doesn't get crushed by these rolling wheel things. It's like, and people don't do that shit, so people wipe on Garrosh all the time, and then people are stuck in LFR, and then somebody gets bored and pulls the boss before there are any tanks and wipes the group. It happened to be twice on the same boss in one day. It's honestly ridiculous. Like two different people, 2 completely separate groups.
There's no good time for them to release a free level 90 kind of system,
really
but
isn't.
at least if they do it now, that means that the expansion launch will be way better. If they launch this with the expansion, it will be horrendous.
There's good
you're
time to
totally
release
right.
that. There's really not. And honestly, that hasn't even been the problem in LFR. LFR has always been shit. People aren't griefing because they're on a new 90. The people aren't sucking because they're on a new 90. Everybody sucks. LFR is completely... Everybody sucks in LFR. Everyone in LFR is just as bad as somebody who just made a new 90. They could have been playing for 900 years, and they would still be this fucking terrible because they're all retarded. It's really, really bad. It's really bad.
Well, you're still never going to be able to get away from the advantage of just like knowing who you're grouped with.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always the advantage of not being anonymous, basically. If you're anonymous, you're going to act like a fuckwad. That's just how it works. That's how the internet works. And I mean, even then, people who aren't like intentionally griefing the group are still going to wipe the group because they suck. That's just the way LFR is, and it kind of makes me not want to play WoW because that's all we do is LFR. Because we tried 10-man raiding once and it was not good because I had to heal and I'm a shit healer, and like I don't know, I've been getting better at healing, so I might redouble my efforts on that, but we'll see. That's about all I've been playing. Those two games. I mean, I've been playing a couple different things on Bravely Default, Cook Serve Delicious still. That's
Dude,
about it for me.
Champion of the world.
Stream. Champion of the world and Cook Serve Delicious. I've had several perfect days in that game, which is always a good feel. Getting through it's funny because getting a good score on a day in Cook Serve Delicious is really easy. Getting a perfect day is actually the one small mistake, and you don't get a perfect day. Because if you get a perfect day, you get like a $250 bonus. But it's one slip up, one tiniest slip up. You serve a pizza too early. You accidentally put bacon on a guy's salad, and the entire thing is gone. And with how quickly you have to hammer out commands, that entire game is just brilliant. It's basically just mini game upon mini game, and just trying to keep up with these like it's like not even mini games, micro games like WarioWare. It's practically WarioWare running a restaurant. That's what that game is comparable to. Except instead of using like a fucking Wiimote to like jack off a dude's nose in 3 seconds, instead you have to like slam out a keyboard combo in order to progress, make a guy salad or whatever. Like it's really fun. I just like the fact that it's played entirely with your keyboard and not even with your mouse at all. I actually find that really fun because you basically just sit there like going all over the place left and right with two hands. It's just like it's almost like a Typing of the Dead kind of thing. Typing of the Dead is a really fun game. I should get that on Steam. That's me.
Okay. Brandon?
I've been playing blackjack and craps.
Oh, okay. In Vegas?
That got dark.
Yeah,
Dark.
I've been enjoying Sin City for the past 3 days.
Nice. He said ominously and then smiled. to
Turns out
himself.
Brandon's just been watching the movie adaptation on loop over and over
He's living it.
while gambling
No.
online.
No, we had a nice bachelor party. I'm just very tired now. I need a few days to recuperate.
Was that on Facebook? You and John went to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant? Was that what that was?
We did. We went to
Nice.
Gordon Ramsay Steak,
Nice.
and it was incredible. Best steak I've ever had in my life.
It did
Which
look
is
It looked amazing.
fantastic. And not
Well, it
only
was-
just like the presentation, but just looking at the steak kind of got me a little like half chub.
yeah. It was like it was perfectly cooked, and I normally just go for like a good ribeye or something, but I decided to splurge on it's called Wagyu, Wagyu.
Okay.
It's like American Kobe beef. I
I'm
guess it's
in.
like
Yeah.
raised,
Alright, I'm with
raised
you.
the same way or whatever.
Keep
So
talking.
it's not true Kobe beef, but it's I guess
Like-
the American version.
It's like
And I got they call it the rib cap, which is supposedly I guess the most tender piece of the ribeye, which it's not a cut I'd ever seen before, but I was like, yeah, all right, well, I love ribeye, and if you say this is as good, like better than ribeye, then all right, Gordon, we'll see what you got. And it was just unbelievable. So yeah, we had good food, saw some shows. If you're in Vegas, we saw a show called Absinthe. I don't know if people listening or watching will have been to Vegas and seen this show, but it's
I've drunk
basically
absinthe.
Yes.
well, okay, that's great.
Is that
That's close to
similar?
it. It's-
Is that relevant?
you're
Did that
basically
prepare me
there.
for this story at all?
For the show.
Yes.
Nice.
You are no less prepared. I will put it that way.
All right.
Uh,
Please tell me that a bunch of strippers poured absinthe in their vaginas, then you had to suck it out. Is that what happened at the show?
well, maybe you're thinking of a different absinthe.
Oh,
I'm not going to say that doesn't exist because I
Okay.
don't know.
Hmm.
You act like you don't. But
We know you
he's
can't
gonna be a married man. He can't be admitting to
Right. He can't talk
drinking
about what
things out
happened
of
at the bachelor
orifices
party.
of questionable women.
You know.
This show is basically sort of like if the KBMOD podcast was a Vegas show, and we happened to hire extremely talented acrobats to do like intermission segments between our own. It's just it's like incredibly.
Send in
incredibly
those
filthy.
subscriptions, viewers.
Yeah, holy shit. I mean, I'm down to try to get that going. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, but it was like a bunch of like horrible, dirty humor mixed with incredible acrobats and stuff.
Huh.
Nice.
Really weird concepts, but it was amazing.
All right.
So
That's cool.
did a lot of gambling, very little sleep, the usual.
Nice.
And before that, I played some Hearthstone, and that's that.
I was gonna say,
I gotta
you
go
probably
knock
could
out
play
some quests after this. And I really want to play Heroes of the Storm, but I have not had a chance to try it yet.
Games for fucking casuals. GG. No, I'm just kidding. I'll go real quick and then we can get into the news. But League of Legends, typical. Like I said, played a little bit of Titanfall on a stream. It feels really good with the crucify me, but it feels really good with the Xbox One controller. I'm not gonna lie.
Considering they updated the firmware for the controller just because this game exists.
Yeah. It definitely. Yeah, it definitely.
It better
shows.
feel good.
Yeah, it feels real good. And other than that, nothing really. On Netflix, charging through season 3 of An Idiot Abroad, catching up with that.
Oh god.
Solid show.
Yeah.
Solid.
Very
show.
solid.
Speaking
Very
of
solid.
TV, because there's not much news, so
Yeah.
fucking finished True Detective this week.
Yes. People are.
So good.
Oh lord, what a dark! I'm not gonna say anything other. What
No
a
spoilers.
dark fucking episode at the end. Dear
We should
God.
just, after the podcast ends, we should just have some discussion.
That show went to some dark fucking places in that last episode. What a show, though. What a show. I'm really excited for season 2, but also terrified because it's not going to be the same actors. It's going to be a whole new story. They're doing kind of I guess that's how American Horror Story does it.
Yeah, it's
But-
new seasons. A lot of the same
So-
actors.
It's going to be the same, like, kind of detective type story, but it'll be 2 new actors.
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
a little
really-
different. Yeah, it's definitely a variation.
I'm
on it.
really interested in who they get. Like, if you get the wrong people, it's gonna be horrible. Also, Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey were godlike in that show. Like, how are you gonna? I mean, you got to get some really top-notch people. I don't know who it's gonna be, but in my head, I keep casting Mark Ruffalo as one of them. I don't know why. I have no idea
you a
why.
big Mark Ruffalo fan?
I don't know. I just feel like he would be good
It would work
in that
good?
type of role for some reason. Or Vincent D'Onofrio would too. I think if you know who he is, but he has the demeanor to play that kind of show. But I have no idea. I hope they announce soon who it's going to be. All right, fuck you, St. Jimmy. Shia LaBeouf and Renee Zellweger are not options for fucking True Detective season 2.
God damn it!
It's
Wow.
not acceptable answer.
John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Just Christian Bale would be good. That's good. Vin Diesel and The Rock would watch.
Oh, holy shit!
Yeah. So we started watching The Americans.
Yeah, you said that one other week. Is it still good?
Well, I said we were going to start it, and we did. We started this
Oh,
week.
you did
It's
start.
quite good. It's quite
Okay.
good.
I
I
should
would
check it
I
out.
would recommend it. But
I'm in the
Alright.
middle of a. You know what's funny? My family shares my Netflix because they're fucking leeches. So, my brother, my sister, some of my friends, I got log on. It's like, are you Timothy? I'm like, who the fuck is Timothy? How does
why
he
is
have
he
my...
watching Showtime porn?
Yeah, why is he watching my shit? But all this to say, Blue is the Warmest Color, which was like this really acclaimed Sundance film. It's like 3 hours. It's a French film.
Okay.
But all my friends in LA have been telling me that I need to watch it, and it's NC-17. So and the front is 2 clear lesbians, and I'm like, am I really gonna? You know what? I don't give a
Clear
fuck.
like
My-
translucent.
Translucent. Now I'm in.
Did I say translucent?
You said
Translucent lesbians?
you said clear. Like
Oh, clear, clear, it looks like they're about to make out or whatever.
Okay.
I
You
meant
did not say there were clearly 2 lesbians. You said 2 clear lesbians. Just want to make sure our viewers and
Anyway.
listeners understand.
Yeah, there we go. So anyway, I started it, and it is very excellent. But it is, it's NC-17. I've seen dick already. I mean, it's great. It's really good. But the story's really good. But anyway, I just know that my parents are gonna like log on and be like, "Oh, what is this? Oh boy, our son's really strayed from the Lord." GG. That's what they're gonna.
They can actually say GG.
My dad talks like that. It's like, he's really strayed from the Lord. GG.
In highly religious circles, it stands for good God.
Good God, exactly. And then he'll continue watching his Lincoln History Channel documentary, and it'll be fine. But anyway, so far it's good. I'll give you a full review next week. I know that there's like a 5-minute like hardcore lesbian scene like in the middle somewhere, so I'm excited.
Yeah, keep going.
So, we'll see.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
Well,
The main draw for me in Black Swan. That ended up being a pretty good movie.
Yeah, Black Swan's good.
but we're going to take a 2-minute commercial break and then head into the news. See you in 2 minutes. Yeah, True Detective. Fuck.
Spoiler for me because I haven't finished it yet, so I'll have to jump on a Skype call when you guys talk about it.
Scott, you should watch The City Dark. I think I
The
told
City
you this
Dark?
another week, but it just came on Netflix like in the last couple weeks.
Is it a series?
It's a documentary.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
About
What's it about?
how natural light is, or how artificial light is killing us, basically.
I've heard about this one. Someone was telling me about it.
Yeah, I read the book. It's not really based off the book, but
So is it
there's-
actually artificial light or the lack of natural light?
It's more the lack of natural light, you are correct, and more the lack of natural nighttime, because you hardly ever you hardly ever actually sleep in total darkness.
Right.
It fucks our REM cycles. Right?
Yeah.
I certainly don't.
Well, yeah, you sleep during the day though, so. But like, it's
the
very
shades are
hard.
drawn.
Like, they talk about light pollution and stuff. It's pretty cool. Fucking Anion got those copy pastas. He's
Yeah, speaking of the darkness,
Wow. Got him.
God
What?
damn it.
I like that Anion's copy pasta differs every now and then. I didn't see his last sentence there.
Yeah,
that's
So,
the
now,
important part of good
before
copy
Mom,
pasta
like,
is
it's-
good mutations.
yeah, yeah. Good copy pastas. Yeah, the I did choose the winners for the KBMOD giveaways, which I will put on the site. And they were Mitchell16, Gatman94, and Jesse Land. And Gatman is refusing to take a prize, so fuck that guy. Fucking Gatman.
According to Anion, Hitbox TV still allows giveaways.
Well, looks like the switch is imminent then.
Oh,
Get over there.
I hate everybody.
Finally.
All right, we are back. There's actually a very light news week because there were so many big releases of just actual games coming out instead.
Boring.
But ESM1 Katowice, I don't know if I said that right.
Katowice.
Katowice. Okay. Poland, why you do this?
It's fucked up, Poland.
EMS. God damn it. I typed everything wrong. CSGO tournament was this weekend, or over the week, I guess, as well. Huge numbers for CSGO. At one point, there were 200,000 concurrent across the streams to watch CSGO. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Finally, an FPS. Whether you like to play it or not, I always like to bring it up because it's insanely good to watch. It is insanely good to watch if you haven't tuned into a CSGO tournament, especially a really, really big one. Definitely do it. I love watching it. And this was the biggest tournament. Yeah, I think it actually was more than DreamHack, but I saw some tweets and then could not find the links that were in the tweets after that. But if you didn't tune into that, tune into some CSGO. Virtus Pro?
Yeah, Virtus Pro.
Virtus
won.
Pro won.
And they're a Polish team, and it was in Poland, so that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Rigged.
Lots of hype for that.
I don't know if you guys saw pictures of like the stadium they were in
Yeah,
for that
it's
tournament,
insane. Yeah.
but it was nuts.
Crazy. Yeah,
I was
and
actually kind of sad that I couldn't watch any of it.
there was also StarCraft and other esports being played at this, but CS:GO really made an impression. So I'm just glad I'm bringing this up because I'm glad to see a competitive FPS doing
Yeah.
big numbers and big things once again. Valve really backing it, of course, and the way they're modeling everything in that game. And as we said before about FPS games and fighting games as well, is that the barrier to entry is still very high. But in CSGO, and the reason that League and Dota work so well and are so big is because whether you're crap at the game or new to the game, you're still playing the same game. Whereas our point about like FPS games, like COD 4 Pro Mod is not COD 4 anymore. It's like a totally different beast. So, and like, you know, playing Street Fighter with your friend is not playing it at Evo. So,
well, that's true of League too. The meta is completely different. Well, the meta is similar. You still have the same like class layouts, you know,
or
2 bottom, 1 top.
Playing Dalesy in Street Fighter is not the same as playing Fat Attack.
Well, I don't know about that. Don't sell yourself too short, Dan.
Yeah, if you're watching live, 2Hit couldn't put a link to a picture in chat.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy.
It's crazy, and I just hope Valve keeps pumping it in. I don't think an FPS will ever again hit the numbers that MOBAs hit now, like never. But it's good to see
it never did
hitting
in the first
hundreds
place.
of thousands. Yeah, but for a while there, before streaming,
it was the biggest.
Quake was the it was the thing. Quake and Source and 1.6 were pulling huge prizes and things like that, and that all kind of went away until CS:GO now. And I don't count Call of Duty because Activision has, and really it's not that big. No. It's really not.
It's yeah, it's just good to see. I mean, for esports, it's good to have variety,
Yeah.
So and to have variety, like you said, with that many spectators, like definitely made an impression. I mean, and like it's just funny. It's so hard to be in the moment of like seeing real huge esports growth, like with the LCS and also with events like this, with just obviously the turnout and the crowd and like how hype it is. Like back in the day, like I don't know, it's just funny like how far we've come, and it's at times it's hard to appreciate it because we're fucking so ingrained in it, or whatever game you're into, you watch it all the time. But like if you look back to like how 10 years ago, like just how far it's come. Anyway, it's nuts. It's awesome.
And it's good to see, and I hope they keep expanding it, and eventually when it does go free to play, I hope it blows up even more.
Yeah.
Not that it's expensive. It was like $3 during this tournament too. So
yeah.
But now
they're gonna start paying you to play CS:GO.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna start happening. Then it will overtake.
Now into something that is expensive, for in my opinion no reason. Wildstar has announced their release date. This is of course the new MMO that is being touted as a lot of MMOs have been touted as WoW killers, but WoW is on the downslide. The numbers are pointing that way.
Till the next expansion. And we now have a release date, which is now not being fucking shown in this article. The fuck? Oh, June 3rd. There we go. June 3rd is when Wildstar will come out. The interesting thing with this, Wildstar is a $60 game with a subscription. You can do the EVE Online deal where you can earn the subscription money in-game, so you don't actually have to pay for the subscription. There is not much information about this game, simply because everything in beta has been under strict NDAs. So getting, like, even if one of these guys here had played a bunch of Wildstar, they couldn't really talk about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to anyway. Who you guys?
But there was another article on PC Gamer this week that piqued my interest actually about this game, finally. And that is they're bringing back 40-man raids, which is a curious decision. And apparently the raids are extremely hard. But that is very difficult for them. I mean, they can say that internally all they want. You won't know until it gets out into the wild and into a guild like Exodus or Nihilum or that caliber of guild from back in the day in WoW. You won't know how hard these actually are because those guilds beat Black Temple in like 2 days after it came out and things like that. So I think it's a bad decision to go 40-man. And I got several tweets about that as well. And Blacklight, I know you agree.
Yeah.
It was hard enough in WoW with a massive fucking player base and guilds with like 120 plus active raiders. It was hard enough to get 40 people online.
It was really difficult, and that had how many people at its peak? Like 12 million. I don't know how many they plan on getting. Like, it was a massive, massive thing for Final Fantasy to come out and garner 1 million subscribers. What the hell kind of numbers do they think they're gonna pull? I mean, it's one thing to be confident in your product. It's another to be able to say, like, a lot of people are going to be able to like, a significant chunk of the player base is going to be able to see these 40-man raids. I'm fine with making them exclusive due to difficulty. That's fine. It's just the sheer numbers needed are kind of unrealistic unless they're going with, like, one server for the entire game, and there's like 500,000 people on that one server somehow, which obviously wouldn't work for a million reasons.
I think the biggest thing pointing to it, though, I mean, you mentioned some good points. The biggest thing for me is WoW at its peak was 15 million subscribers.
15 million.
That was during Burning Crusade, when the raids were 25 man.
Yeah, when the raids were smaller.
They took down the raid size on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a reason for that.
There's not really much. There's not much to be gained, in my opinion, from 40 compared to like 25 or 20, because you always ended up with just people who brought you down at that size, but you had to have those people, right? It was always better to go. It was always better to go with 40, even if 5 of them were garbage.
Yeah,
than to go with 35.
We'd always bring in fucking people who had alts or like geared alts or
enhancement, shaman, healing, and
like friends of people. We'd be like, well, I mean, it's a body. You know, if it's a healer, they can at least do a little bit. You know,
he's got a mana bar and something that says healing wave. Like,
so, I mean,
it just seems like I'm curious. I don't know that it says like in this article specifically at all, but I'm curious why they decided to go with 40 compared to 20 or 25. Because like there's a quote here about like he's saying don't play if you know, like a casual player saying he wants to get gear without joining a 20 or 40 man raiding guild, and the answer is then don't play. That's one of the answers from this guy.
Maybe he's
and
trying to be a badass.
It's like no,
or something,
yeah, it's like no, that's cool. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with making like a hardcore tier. I think that's good. I think they're you know, like that's one of the things that really kept me into WoW for so long. But like 20 versus 40 is a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have mattered if it was 20 or 40, except that 20 would have meant we could raid way more because we didn't have to get double the number of people on.
I would have kept the guild I was in with friends. I would not have gone to the really more hardcore guild that actually raided less, but I would not have gone into that environment and basically ended up killing my desire to play after a while because it was just, I mean, so intensive. Even though we rated less, but it was more intensive. I would not have even gone into that environment. I would have kept raiding with friends if it had been a matter of, you know, not getting 40 people anymore. But we ended up just not having enough people online. So
it's honestly just a number problem. There's just no way you're going to get 40 people. Like, it's one thing to have very challenging content that only a small percentage of your player base is going to see, and limiting it. Like, 40 players is a barrier for entry to pass. That's not even a once you're in there, you got to perform. It's a barrier for entry. And that's just excluding too many people from even seeing the content you're basically going to waste time creating if no one gets to see it. And I just honestly don't see how it could possibly work. Unless they're expecting to have an incredible amount of subscribers from the get-go.
Look at the best MMO of all time, World of Warcraft, the one that was most successful, and when it was at its peak, it was 25-man raids. When they made their best content for raiding, their hardest, most challenging, most hardcore content, it was in 25-man raids. It was easier for them to balance, easier for guilds to get the people to do it. Like, I mean, I just don't understand this, especially for a brand new MMO with tons and tons of money behind it and a $60 price tag coming
putting
out
a lot on the line
against Elder Scrolls. Not that I think Elder Scrolls is really going to be that great, but again, they are coming out in the same year as the Elder Scrolls Online. Most people are not going to buy both MMOs, and or continue playing WoW. Like, they're going to do one of those things, and you better have a really compelling reason to play you. And to me, the hardcore difficulty sounds very cool. Like, I'm into that. Finding 39 other people to do it with, not really sounding great.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to look into pulling back in old WoW subscribers, which is what WoW itself is attempting to do with this coming expansion, like saying that you're bringing back 40-man raids is not appealing to me, because that was like I had tons of fun with WoW in the 40-man days, but it was like in spite of the fact
Yeah.
that we had 40-man
It
raids.
really was. Because there were, and it's been said in chat a few times, like, and we've said it on this podcast before, reminiscing about those days. There was always 10 to 15 really fucking terrible people, or people that were just there for a chance at loot, like, did not care.
Well, and you ended up just having cliques all over your guild, because your guild has to be so large. Like your guild has to be probably at least 80 people, and you end up just, bonding with like a few of them and hating the rest.
Yep.
We had
like high
channels
school.
just to bitch about bad
your
people.
guildmates.
Yeah. All right, but we'll see. Hopefully Wildstar's good. I'm not wishing
Hopefully we're
bad
wrong.
upon it. I hope it's good, and I hope that the raids are hard. I would like to see that kind of content again.
I want them to be hard. I just don't want them to be 40-mans because that's stupid.
But on to some bad news, especially for Blacklight.
I know what you're going to say.
Two big releases, at least on our radars, got pushed back. The Witcher 3 on everyone's radar, I would say, was supposed to come out by the end of 2014. It's going to beat up your PC to no end, that's for sure. But it has been pushed back to February 2015 to polish it up, which is the best reason possible. So I'm down with that. So Witcher 3, if you were looking forward to this year, is on your holiday list. Scratch that. It's not going to come out till 2015.
I think that's also like a legit delay, because if you're delaying it past, if you're choosing to delay it until right after the holiday season, then that is the delay you want.
Yeah.
That means that they are sacrificing
Fuck
those
Christmas
holiday
money.
sales
Yeah.
to actually polish up the game. So good on them.
And also Shovel Knight, upcoming platformer that Blah has been hard on since, I think, PAX East last year?
PAX East last year.
Yeah.
Almost a year.
Wasn't it supposed to come out first in like September,
Holiday
October
2013.
or something? Yeah, okay. And then holiday 2013, and then it was supposed to come out March 31st.
And
And
just
now
got
it
pushed back
is
again.
being delayed a few weeks. I don't think they have said yet.
Yeah, they haven't. They have said specifically it's not going to be an incredibly significant delay, and it's mostly a problem with just getting the game to all of the platforms on the same day.
I was
Is
gonna
mostly
say
what they're
I didn't
concerned about.
realize it was coming out for PC, Mac, Linux, Wii U, and 3DS.
Yeah,
That's
they.
a lot,
That
that's
is
a
a
lot of
crazy
platforms for a
variety.
Kickstarter game.
I
Yeah.
think that's more platforms than they anticipated. I think those were a couple of the stretch goals. We'll be able to get it to 3DS. They said actually Nintendo's like really great to work with on indie games, which I think is kind of interesting. But yeah, they've said it's mostly like a shipping and porting issue more than anything else. So I'm not too worried about it. Hopefully it won't be incredibly long. I am really sad. They also announced that, speaking of hub towns, like we were talking about in DS2, there's going to be a hub town in that game, which I find very surprising. I thought it was going to be a very linear Castlevania game, but there's going to be like a town with NPCs and stuff.
That's
A
cool.
little bit of a RPG element to it.
So that is it for the news this week, actually. There just was not much this week. New releases sort of dominated. So speaking of the new releases this week, after a week of huge stuff, we have Monday, Line, which looks like a really Lyne, which I actually did go look at, and it looks actually pretty cool, pretty addicting. It's a very simple puzzle game. God damn it, Brandon. He just re-spelled indie with a Y. Dick. It looks pretty cool.
They can use that for their marketing free of charge. You're welcome.
So you may want to check that out if you're into puzzle games. Tuesday, Luftrausers, which is like an air combat shooter from the Vlambeer dudes, who stream on Twitch, stream their development all the time. Luftrausers comes out. It's like air combat. There's tons and tons of ships and customization and stuff. It looks actually pretty cool. In games that don't look pretty cool, Deus Ex The Fall, which is a port of a mobile game, is coming out Tuesday.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And then the only other game that looked really interesting, Steam actually has a shitload of releases this week, but they're all like games I'd never ever heard of, and didn't look really interesting. But Cloud Built, which is a new platformer, comes out on the 20th. The art direction, it looks very cool, so you may want to check that out on Thursday. Alrighty, so we're gonna move right in to the viewer questions here on this Brandon is Hungover edition on St. Nippy's Day podcast. Isaiah G asks, "Hey guys, what is everyone's view on tobacco? I know everyone is all hype over what Enfan calls mini bongs or e-cigs. Keep up the good work, guys." His Twitter handle is refreshing HJs. Respect.
What a guy.
Handle.
He's been a stream regular all throughout Larch. What a guy.
Yes. Tobacco. I think I don't like. I'm not one of those zany people who hates everyone who smokes. But really, if you're not smoking an e-cigarette instead at this point, I don't know what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
I think if like you need to smoke and you need some nicotine, why wouldn't
Right.
you?
Why? Yeah. Why at this point? It's
I'm just
honestly
bummed,
like
yeah. Go ahead.
it's kind of funny because tobacco is one of those things that I have absolutely no problem with when it's taken in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is cigarettes are designed to not at all be taken in moderation. They're designed to be incredibly chemically addictive, and it's one of the hardest habits to kick. There's nothing. It's sort of a thing that could have been okay that got ruined by how greedy the companies got, kind of thing. Not to sound like too much of a goddamn tipster, but I guess that is what I sound like. It's something that used to be okay. That's not. Now there are ways that are okay to consume tobacco. Hookah's not supposed to be very good for you if you do it all the damn time.
Hookah's terrible for you.
Hookah's very bad for you, but you can do it in moderation because you don't smoke hookah and then immediately need another hit of hookah. You don't. No, don't get me wrong. There's nicotine in it because it occurs naturally in tobacco. It's going to be chemically addictive to a certain degree. It's also very easy to ignore, shake off, and wait until next time your friends are bored. Whereas with cigarettes, they're laced with all different kinds of chemicals to make them more addictive. So I don't think they're really comparable.
Yeah, I mean, tobacco is fine. A good cigar is delicious.
Oh yeah.
Good hookah is delicious.
It's a gross habit.
Oh yeah, it's a gross habit. But again, if you need
Don't
to do
smoke.
it, if you're on nicotine, get a fucking
I'm just
e-cig.
bummed that smoking gets such a bad rap. It's really good for you. And it's just sickening to hear this kind of sick fucking hipster propaganda from people that I used to call my friends. Just repeating it. Like, my God. How many, I mean, so many undocumented stories that the media doesn't want to allow to rise to the surface of people that have smoked cigarettes and it's cured their cancer. And it's just shocking to hear my friends watching these conspiracy fucking theorist documentaries about smoking being bad for you. So that's my stance on the whole thing. Let me just say, you know what? 20,769 physicians say that Lucky Strikes are less irritating because they're toasted. Your throat protection against irritating cough. Okay, that was an ad from like 1930. That was a real ad. So I'm gonna copy that image URL and paste it in chat for everyone.
Toasted cigarettes.
Toasted cigarettes. Here it is.
Toasted the tobacco.
Nice and toasty.
Well, as
Nice
someone
and
who
toasty
has had
tobacco.
very recent experience with secondhand smoke, I can tell you that no one likes smoking. No one.
No one who likes smoking who doesn't. Actually, people who do smoke also hate smoking.
That's true.
It's not a good thing to do.
Like, I don't have a problem if you want to smoke. Like I think it's dumb, but if you want to smoke, like whatever, that's your deal. But like sitting in a casino and next to someone smoking is literally the worst. Like I will get up from a blackjack table just because someone is smoking and like doesn't, I don't know. I don't like secondhand smoke
Would you like
at all.
to know what the absolute worst is? Because I'm going to tell you.
I had a feeling you were going to.
Yes. When you see someone with a baby carrier and they have the baby strapped to the front of them and they are smoking a cigarette, it should be legal to kill that person dead right there.
Wow.
And then put the baby with a family that gives a shit about it. Because clearly you don't. I mean,
I'm not
that
even
shit.
a parent. That shit pisses me off.
My wife is one of the nicest people on the planet, but I'm pretty sure she would disembowel someone doing that given the opportunity. Like, she gets so mad. That shit is the worst.
It's really bad. It's a habit that I think people need to realize doesn't affect just them. And
that's why I don't mind e-cigs at all, because there's no secondhand smoke. I don't mind what you do.
Well,
it's just
I do want to say the research isn't totally out on e-cigs yet. Totally. Okay, I've been really documenting studies on it.
That's true.
I just heard
there's no research to be had about their secondhand smoke.
Oh, well, okay, yeah. I guess more with the e-cigs that people are that taking them up, they're like that smoke that never smoked before, are taking up e-cigs and being like, "There's no health risks." I guess is the. Some people are like,
you should not smoke. You should not do anything if you're not concerned about the health risks. Like, you know what? What is really healthy? Not doing it. Like, there's no chance that
that's the guarantee.
Chance that smoking anything of any sort is any more healthy than not smoking it.
If you want to lose weight, weed is actually pretty good for that.
Listen, or it's the rationalization that, like, dude, I live in Los Angeles. Like, holy shit, I'm basically smoking 10 packs a day. I'm basically from the air pollution, right? Yeah. So I might as well be smoking everything I get my hands on. Small plants, small rats that I find dead on the side of the road. I should be lighting everything up, rolling a big fat joint, and getting so fucking high that I can barely function. Because really, at the end of the day, I'm gonna die 10 years quicker than any of you because of where I live. So, if anything, this just made me more apt to light up whatever I see. Jesus. Cam, you're looking pretty good. Let me get some of that tail hair. I'm about to light that shit up.
Honestly, I feel like you're going to end up dying sooner than anybody else anyway, because you're going to kill yourself because you apparently live in an area where Oscar parties are the thing to do.
Oh,
and you're nobody if you don't have a fucking Oscar party, Scott.
That's true.
That's true.
Oscar
that may
parties.
Actually cause my death.
Oscar parties are scientifically proven to reduce your lifespan by at least 1.5 years.
Yep.
So
1.5.
This next question, I don't normally take gross would you rather questions anymore, but this one seemed really relevant. And it's too bad John isn't here. So last week, Scott, we discovered that. Did you listen?
I was here. I remember.
Oh, you were here. Okay.
I was here last week, yeah.
Mr. Matty Mouse on Twitter. Shout-outs to Matty.
God damn it, Matty. I already knew this was going to be bad.
Would you rather have a hobo take a runny dump on your chest or be as good as Hardballer at CSGO? Little background. Hardballer went 2-24 in a competitive match.
I mean, on one hand, if it was only CSGO, that actually isn't too bad for me because I don't play CSGO, but there's always the chance that, some friends might start playing, whereas a runny dump is washed off in minutes.
Yeah.
It's
gross.
Nasty. It's going to be a terrible experience. I don't know. It depends on what kind of hobo it is. If it's a guy who we both understand that this is some sort of weird contract with some foreign entity that we've both entered for whatever reason, and he's like, "Hey, sorry, man. I guess we just got to do what we got to do." I'm like, it's all right. All right, just go. Then that's it washes off. It's going to be nasty, but it's done in 10 minutes.
It's not like either of you are surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a ranting, raving, slobbering hobo who's sitting there carving Satan into his forearm with a switchblade while shitting on my chest. I feel like that's the kind of thing where, I could technically wash it off in about 10 minutes, but I'm just going to keep scrubbing until I bleed. So I would probably, in that instance, take the hardballer skill. But on the other hand, if it's a relatively normal hobo who just, he's a veteran or something, or he's just had a bad run in life, or bad addiction to drugs or something that he kicked, but he just can't.
How you're
he
classifying
just can't start.
Which
he just
shit
can't,
would be worse by
he
how
just can't
good
restart
the
his life.
is.
Then in that case, I would take the runny hobo dump if the hobo is agreeable, because there's always the chance that some of my friends might want to play CSGO, and it would just be a horrible experience for me.
Is the contract fulfilled if it's not runny?
I think
it's a solid dump.
I think that in this scenario, the contract, in this statement of the contract, it has to be runny. The hobo has no choice but to take a runny dump. He can't lay a solid one on you.
Well, then that's a factor, though, because then who knows who the fuck is the judge that's judging the runny shit? Maybe it's not runny enough. You might have to do this a couple times. You might get shit on multiple times.
I think you could reach a general consensus, especially by jury if you needed to, on whether or not a shit is runny enough. I think it's not as gray a line as you think.
You know what?
All right.
Someone needs to kickstart or get funding for a business that draws up would you rather contracts between people who are willing to go the distance.
And
That's actually
enforces them.
genius.
And enforces them is the important part.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a
question-
great show idea. Someone needs to do that. It's basically like Fear Factor, but
Oh man.
But way worse. Way fucking
Way
worse.
worse.
Because would
Way
you
worse.
This
rather?
question has basically described why the legal system is so difficult in a nutshell.
that's true. God,
Fair enough.
See,
How
this
do
is
you
real
enforce
issues that we
this?
deal with here at KBMOD. This is real issues.
The
These are
important
real
questions, really. Is what
life
you're saying.
questions.
The hard-hitting questions.
Struggle
yeah.
with.
I'll take the grammatical side to this question. The question asks if I would rather be as good as Hardballer at CS:GO. It's not asking whether I'm worse. It's asking whether I'm as good. And by definition, I can be as good and also be better. So I would be as good as Hardballer at CS:GO.
As good.
I mean, yeah, that's true. The wording is a little odd on that. I think what it should have been
Brandon
is as
taking
bad
the legalese way out of
as
this.
Hardballer.
I'm
but
taking the runny dump, dude. I'm sorry.
I also want to point out Spiky
It's
Magoo
not
says I
meant to be
ruined
a
his
prize,
curry
Dan.
dinner, and Hardballer contributed to chat. I have no idea what is going on anymore? Question mark.
Oh, God bless him.
He's not sure.
Fucking love Hardball.
He tries so hard.
Oh, God.
I don't know how to take this.
this question mark.
I'm taking the runny dump, dude. I'm sorry.
Too good. Yeah, I'll go with the runny dump, actually. You've convinced me.
Scott would never want to be that bad at CS.
No,
Just you
I mean,
wouldn't.
I've been gone a while, but even that, I don't think I can take that shame. So,
At Needle's Edge asks, when Dan completely jumps the PC ship and defects over to strictly console gaming, will we get caught in a custody battle? Wow, fuck you, dude.
wow. Called out.
I already told you how bad it is. Excruciating. If this game wasn't so good, I wouldn't be playing it. That's how bad it looks. It looks so bad. I can't even fathom it. Like, it doesn't
Pretty
even make
bad.
sense to me how bad it looks. Like, it's
That's a lot bad.
it looks almost as bad as the Titanfall PC textures.
Ooh,
Almost as bad.
Shots
Slam.
fired.
They look terrible. They did not fix those at all.
Oh, good.
But
Yeah, betas.
yes, you will get caught in the custody battle, and it will be long and bloody. I will fight for all the alimony from the PC elite, the rich PC master race with all its
1%.
money and its 780
That'll be
Ti's and
You're just draining that from the children. Come extra life.
Who are you gonna will your Steam account to?
man, it is an heirloom. It is an heirloom. I'll give it to Hardballer.
Oh, damn it. Now, that's just spiteful.
Then he can have all the achievements that I already got. It'll be
Follow
good.
in your footsteps.
All right. Next question. This is a good question, and I don't think it's ever been asked before in any form, because people don't get taxidermied too often. At
anymore.
Cam NFL, if you were taxidermied when you died, what pose would you want to be in, and where and what cultural figures would you be with?
Now, see,
seems
this
like
is
more of a
smart
wax
because he said
museum
cultural figures.
Yes.
So he's now letting us.
Yeah.
Normally we say historical figures and just end up at cultural figures. He's already giving us carte blanche.
This
to
is
do
served
what we
up
want.
on a silver platter for us. I mean, this is such an easy. It was weird because I read it before the cast and I was like, this shouldn't be that easy of an answer for me, but it's very easy. naked, bent over, getting fucked in the ass by John Travolta, and I'll tell you why. You'd say, why
hope
would you
you
want
will.
that immortalized? The reason is that people for a long time are like, is John Travolta like? We don't have any, like, he's gay. Like, you read these stories about how he's, like, giving hand jobs to, like, masseuses around the city and stuff like that, but no one
Wait,
really has ever
we
locked
read
him
those
down.
stories.
Well,
Scott
does.
Well,
it
now
was,
we
I don't know
why
where
you
I
moved
read
to
that
LA.
story. I don't know how I got to that place of the internet. But anyway, it's been long rumored. Same thing with Tom Cruise, right? So it's about time we nail one of these bastards. And you know what? I will take it up the ass for history, okay? And forever, you can't, it'll be goddamn John
That-
Travolta fucking me in the ass for forever. And they
That-
won't be able to say John Travolta wasn't gay because he's in my asshole. I'm a taxidermied, bent over, whore for John Travolta, and I will be put in a fucking museum, and people will forever say, "Thank you, Scott Fisher, for finally outing John Travolta." And that's it.
Apparently,
Hold on, that
Kevin
was easy
Spacey
for
should
you.
Also be there.
That's just what it came to.
That was an easy decision for you, though.
It's pretty simple. I can't think of anything more honorable that I could do.
You didn't have to think about that one too hard. That one just came to you.
I would want to be in the Degeneration X pose when they like slam their crotch with the X figure.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
I would want to be in that pose for no real reason, but it just seems like a ridiculous pose to be put in for eternity.
Well, that's because it is.
And my cultural figures would be MC Hammer,
MC.
and just 3 more MC Hammers, actually. Just 4 MC Hammers around
Nice.
me, all
Good choice.
worshipping my crotch thrust. So there you go.
I think the easiest solution for me is the old Abe Lincoln mid suplex.
Yeah, that's right.
To recall
The
a
old
podcast
suplex.
classic.
Yes.
The mid suplex Abe Lincoln.
Tears flying out your eyes.
Yep. Somebody they'd have to hire like an extra guy, like a glass blower or something, to make the tears that freeze in midair.
God damn it.
It would be a really elaborate project.
It would
Yeah.
be. That yours sounds awesome.
It would be really epic.
Oh my god. Scott, I can't believe that you just knew that right away. I'm pretty
Yeah, like that was
I'm
what
down with
immediately
it.
shot to your mind. That's incredible.
It's just weird. Yeah, I just think it's bullshit that like I mean, it's fair enough. It's his personal life. Like, why should I care so much? But I mean, everyone knows that John Travolta likes dick. It's just say it. You know. Just
I didn't
get
know
it.
that because I don't give a shit.
Okay. Well, you obviously don't
I'm
care
actually
about one of
a
the
dude.
most iconic actors of our time. So that's unfortunate.
Duck facing in the
it's unfortunate
passenger
that I-
seat. Oh my god, that's so good. Sorry. That's really good. Mr. Flux, duck facing in the passenger seat of JFK's limo as his head explodes.
Oh my god.
That is the perfect place for a duck face to be made. I'm
That
just
is
gonna
so
be honest
fucked
with you.
up.
That is pretty good, sir. Listen, I'm not getting taxidermy with Chris Benoit and his family. Not after what I said. Not after what I said yesterday.
Oh no.
All right. This next question is an interesting one, and it sucks that John isn't here. At Jacob LX asks, best FPS map in history.
Indeed, Dust 2. No contest.
Really? Dust 2.
Just
Dust
because of
2
the
is
amount of
Dust 2
time.
is a strong contender.
It is
just
a strong
think about how
contender.
many hours you've spent in your lifetime on that map. I mean,
It's
Like
good.
Dust 2 is
Simplicity.
such a well balanced map for its time.
yep.
Like it's just a classic. That is the classic FPS map.
Yep.
Like think about Quake maps. Like, can you tell me the name of 3 Quake maps?
No, I can't. You're right.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is like Quake doesn't have the iconic maps necessarily that CS does.
What about
Yeah.
the depot map on ET?
The fact that you don't remember what it's called
Yeah,
means that it's
not
probably
good.
not the best.
It's not good.
ET had lots of really good maps, but none of them stand out to me as like iconic.
Wet work. Fuck you.
Wet work. God, someone ban that guy, please.
Fat Attack just got Fat Attack collateraled.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with District on COD 4 is extremely good, and Crossfire on COD 4 is extreme. Crossfire, if you want to talk about balance, there's like basically 3 lanes. It's basically a MOBA map. Crossfire is basically a MOBA map. It's so good. It's so good. I don't think any map in Modern Warfare 2 on can be any COD map. You can't choose any of them from Modern Warfare 2 on, even Black Ops, because they all went all vertical and weird and tried to be all like, I don't know. But Summit's Nuketown, actually, Nuketown's a pretty good map. Nuketown's a pretty good map. It's not as good as Dust 2 though.
Nuketown though, is it a map? It's a square. Is it
Like
really a map?
I don't think Nuketown has any of the like it doesn't have any tactics to it.
There's no
there's
flow.
not there's
you're
not
right,
like real
you're right.
thought to it. It's just like it's a well executed concept, but there's not. I don't think it counts.
I do love
Yeah.
Office. I'm like the only one, but but I love Office. CS Office. What a map. What
I
a
think
fucking
actually,
Yeah.
map.
as a whole, CS has the most iconic maps.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Because they keep the thing about CS, and this is the thing that I think map makers need to realize in these new games that try to make these extremely vertical, like crazy tons of rooms in the apartments. Like you can it's realistic. Like you can go everywhere. Simple works a lot better. Like CS is just like
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying about the simplicity of like Dust 2. Like it's not. There's still strategies, obviously, that are run and all that kind of stuff. Like it's really balanced, like Brandon said. But it is, at the end of the day, it's simple. You know what I mean? It's not.
yeah.
There was no overthinking of it. And
Well,
now,
like
like you
there
said,
there are like there are a finite number of strategies, but
Yeah.
the way that those strategies can play out is
Yes.
almost infinite.
I'm trying to see the problem with Battlefield is like the maps are mostly good because of the eye candy a lot of the time, not because of really how they're designed.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, like Battlefield 3, I didn't like really anything in that game. BF4, the Zavod 311 is fucking amazing. It's designed amazingly. Like they've set up a lot of excellent fights on that. But yeah, I think mostly CS maps. And I think Brandon, though, if Quake wasn't as old as it is, we would be seeing some Quake maps in here. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's part of it.
Yeah,
although you
I
have
think-
probably played Quake live more recently than I have.
Yeah, it's just that like there aren't the maps in Quake don't feel iconic to me.
Okay.
They're just like there are a bunch of them. They don't have the kind of personality that other maps do, because it's all like, I don't know. It's hard to even explain. But like all of the maps in CS have a personality to them. I think
Yeah.
because they have like a proper setting, whereas the ones in Quake don't really have a setting. You're just in kind of like this arena, you know,
Or
and you're
Yeah.
space, or like
right, like arena or space or whatever.
yeah.
But I don't know. This is actually a really tough call, because like I think it's like a toss up between a bunch of maps between like Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Enemy Territory, and Counter Strike.
I think the hard part with enemy territory, like you said, I couldn't remember the name of that map because our server and many servers had tons and tons of custom maps that were awesome, like that didn't come with the game, and I can't remember the name of any of them, but a lot of them were amazing. Market Garden was fucking phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
what an achievement for those guys. It was huge too.
I actually really liked almost all of ET's maps, and I think it's for the same reason I liked CS maps, because they were simple enough, but there were, you know, multiple strategies that could then be executed in different ways. And I think like for CS, those maps got sort of the bomb plant scenario correct,
Yes.
whereas in ET it's a whole different paradigm, because you were planting bombs, but they were at like checkpoints.
Yeah.
So I think like they're just, I know we talk about sort of the golden age of FPSs, but like there were just masterful map creation back in the day. I think that I just don't feel like you get as much now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think
And actually like TF2, yeah, TF2 has some
God,
good maps. Like
does have
like
some really
that's
good
yeah,
maps.
that's true.
I've been waiting to say TF2 is the only FPS I've really spent that much time playing that I can make a call on this. But even then, TF2 is like, there isn't one single map I could be like, that is my TF2 map. I have maps I do well on, I have maps I do poorly on, but there's no one map that is like the TF2 map.
I would say,
any
like,
map that
2
has
Fort
like a
is really
24/7
iconic.
server
2
that
Fort-
you've played is terrible. 2 Fort sucks.
Two Forts is a
but
great
it's-
map,
but,
though.
But like that's a I'm saying
It
that's
really
just
is a very well
I'm saying
designed
it's a
map.
really
It's a very well
iconic
designed
map.
mirror, and it's
It's
very iconic.
it is very iconic. That is
and like
true.
that's a map that has basically not changed since the original Team Fortress Classic.
Yep.
Like when I think of Team Fortress, I think of 2 Fort.
Yep.
Okay,
2
I
Fort's
would
really
I
good.
would take that, even though I hate 2 Fort.
Yeah, you're probably bad.
It's just
2
boring and stally. And in modern day TF2, it's nothing but a turtle fest. And it's not fun to play.
Is that just falling out of the meta?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I first played TF2, all I did was play 2 Fort.
Yeah, me too. Me too, because it was the only map I bothered to commit to memory. I was really bad.
That's a good question, though. That's such a hard.
Yeah, that's an excellent question.
God damn it! Someone
Hard one
did
to
the duck face for us. I'm gonna put it in chat. There
Well,
we go. Oh,
see
there it
it.
is. It's really good Photoshop. It's
It's fucking
Dolan.
Dolan.
Dolan. God damn it.
It's not okay.
Oh man.
All right. Well, on that
Unfortunate.
discussion, I think that's a good stopping point. I do,
Yes.
because that was a really good question. Thank you, Jacob LX, for that question.
Yeah, that was one of the better. That was really well. Oh no, I was actually that map question was good. Sorry, but I was thinking of the taxidermy question was one of the better ones we've had in a while too.
Oh man,
I'll say you
greenery
have-
is really good.
Good,
Damn
good
it.
examples of topical and off-topical questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
All
Is
right,
that a
guys.
little bit of of the KBMOD podcast has come to an end. As we hit front page appearances.
As the cast says, that happens seriously every week.
Yeah, it does. Well,
You just
you
hit
know,
rotation, 800
can you
viewers,
do?
and cast. We will see you guys next week, hopefully with a full complement. Hopefully Nick Fenton takes the penicillin to get rid of his syphilis.
I'm glad. Can I
bad.
just thank Nick Fenton for being in chat during the entire cast, like
Yeah.
watching the cast. Nothing better to do, but he can't join us. That's
Yep.
right.
Yep. Well, he doesn't have a voice, so that would be very detrimental on the podcast.
Yeah, maybe I can see that.
Same as every
I'll allow
week.
it.
Make
Damn,
sure
Brandon
you
going in.
Go check out kbmod.com. Rumor has it we are getting a big update to multi-stream this week. So that is the rumor from the web dev desk of
We gonna be able to
Sean
embed
Bernard.
live Jasmine cams finally, or what?
Yes, actually,
What's the
we
word?
are working on Mixify integration.
Oh shit.
Oh my!
Yeah, because that has an embed feature now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he's working on it.
I'm
What
excited.
we're looking at for that before we end is putting in presets. There's going to be one to start, which is basically going to be the KBMOD stream team people. Whichever ones are live, you'll just hit a button. It will make a multi-stream, which is pretty ballin'. So you won't have to fiddle around with putting it in. That will still be there. Features that Sean is looking at include an I'm feeling lucky button, which will take you to any random stream on Twitch. He's going to be putting one of those on, or put any 2 or 3 streams, whichever you specify. It will just pull 3 random ones up, put them in a multi-stream. We are going to work on those build guides, not tonight. Brandon needs his rest.
Yeah. Build guides. You're getting your multi-stream update. How about
And
that?
Sean is also working on ideas that have been floated about but are doable. Most likely are things like when the international is going on, you can just go to kbmod.com/multi-stream, click international, you'll get all the streams in a multi-stream. You won't have to type them all in, or Evo or things like that. So, yeah,
Curated content.
yeah, looks pretty cool. So
Very
hopefully
nice.
we get that out. Thank you guys for watching once again. Make sure you check out kbmod.com. Check us out on Twitter. You can see all our personal Twitters on the screen right now.
You should also rate us on iTunes if you listen to this and enjoy the fact that we say the date at the beginning.
Yes,
That's
yes,
true.
dude.
Yeah, you
yes,
should.
dude, guy. That's Scott. That tweeted at Scott.
Damn it.
And we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Later.
See you.
Where's my stream?